welcome to the Big on Small podcast. You may have wondered where we've been, in that we're partway through the year, and this is our first podcast of the year. Well, we've all been on hibernation. We've been waiting for the weather to improve and for spring to spring. And now it has. We're out like fine flowers, aren't we? So I welcome Steve.
Welcome, everybody.
And I welcome Tucker.
Hello, everybody.
And me, Paul. It's great to be back. And we thought that for this podcast, we would consider that topic of spring. And as usual, we've been looking through the media and into our usual geeky sources to try and find out what's happening out there associated with spring that links in to the solutions that we have here at Malvern Panalytical. So we're going to take you on that journey through how our minds work and how amazing it is to work with the solutions we have here. So where should we start? Steve, I think you came out of hibernation ahead of the rest of us. What have you been finding?
Well, this is a particularly interesting time of year. It's a time of year which British farmers call the hungry gap. And what the hungry gap is, it's about 6 weeks to 2 months or so, where you finish using your what was stored in winter. The carrots and onions and stuff are getting a bit manky from the previous harvest, and you've planted some stuff already, but it's not grown yet. So it was the time of year, even though spring is sprung, where there's not too much to eat, and traditionally people would possibly starve. They'd get through the winter, and it would actually be the early spring that would finish people off.
Goodness, I don't know about you. I get one of those every day between sometime between 10 and 12. How about you, Taco?
Yeah, similar. Yeah.
Which is why in England we have a separate meal called elevenses.
Ah, right, okay.
Which gets around that.
Well, I guess elevenses doesn't work in this case as a solution.
No, not really. There's only so many biscuits you can take. So what I'm going to really cover today is ways of improving, I guess, agricultural yield through hydroponics and very small bubbles.
Very small bubbles. Before you start talking about very small bubbles, how do you know they exist, Steve?
Well, yes, that is the thing of much debate, because as bubbles get smaller, they would, in theory, violate what's known as the Young-Laplace equation. So they would the internal pressures would get too high, and they would actually burst and dissolve. But the Japanese have long posited that bubbles of about 50 nanometers to 100 nanometers do exist, even though a lot of physicists would say they should not. But there is definitely something there. I think it's uniquely related to the properties of water. And I think they're actually protected by having an extremely high charge, because we can measure the zeta potential of this thing, and it's minus 35 to minus 40 millivolts. And whatever's there will stay there. It's measurable normally by NTA, nanoparticle tracking analysis would be our best technique in this particular area, because it gives you a concentration of what you're measuring, which they think are bubbles. And what you can do then, as a way we think they're bubbles, is we can freeze the sample. And if you freeze the sample and defrost it, whatever was there has gone. And then you're back at a similar concentration to your native water. So it's some sort of water-infused air thing, which we're calling a bubble, which has effects that is killed on freezing. So a lot of people it's often called ultrafine bubbles or nanobubbles, but there's still people that are skeptical about their existence.
So we've got these nanobubbles, and we've got a hungry gap that's probably measured in more than nano. So why do the two link? How do they help with that?
There's quite a lot of different agricultural applications in this area. Some of which is hydroponic growing, because I think it's a good way of getting oxygen and nutrients to the plants faster. So there's been an observable, with things like lettuce, increase in weight of about 20%. So and yes, it's going to cost you a bit to put oxygen in, but if you're getting a 20% bigger lettuce, the offset is seen to be worthwhile. The other big application we have in this area is seed germination. with seeds and germination, there's really two main factors that are problems. One is the time to germinate, and the other one is does it germinate or not. And there's certain seeds are like kind of quality of different qualities, and really they're ranked by quality as really how likely they are to germinate. So if you've got a very more expensive seed, it's more likely to germinate quickly than a poorer quality one. Well, there's been a Japanese professor, Professor Ishita, who's written a few ISO standards and a lot of papers in this area. I've been working with him for a couple of years because one of my many hats I wear is chair of the ISO committee in nanobubbles, and he's been writing some standards in this area. And he's discovered that bubbles, to a point, make seeds germinate faster, and also makes the kind of not quite so good seeds germinate faster too, and germinate when they wouldn't. So some of the areas of the world where they can only afford the slightly lower quality seeds, by using bubble water to germinate the seeds, they can actually get the seeds to germinate.
Okay, so nanobubbles not only help with get the growth of the plant, maybe providing oxygen or other nutrients, but they can also help with initiating the growth of the seeds. So that's a big boost, I guess, to not only to production and yield, but also to speed to yield.
Absolutely, but too much of a good thing can also be bad.
Okay.
Because there is actually a sweet spot when it comes to bubble generation. Too much, you see this thing promote, and then if very high concentrations, not with every type of seed, but some types of seeds he studied, it falls off again. So there's actually a sweet spot of concentration. And that's, of course, where we come in, because we can measure that sweet spot of concentration. You can measure the size of the bubbles produced, check they're kind of optimized, but it's really the concentration that we're actually looking at here, because obviously the longer you run your generators, the more you get, but you don't want too much. Okay. So you can get that going.
So Malvern Panalytical, the company that can help you with determining whether you've got too much of a good thing. Maybe that's a good point to move on then. Let's not have too much nanobubbles. Thank you, very good to know what they're doing, and I trust they exist now. So Tarko, how about you? You must have something a lot less wacky than that to talk about when it comes to spring. What have you been finding in the ether?
Very interesting stuff, and thank you for asking. And it is also it has to do with growing plants. Okay. I find an article that barley seed growth is enhanced as the dry weight increases on average by 50% after electrical stimulation.
Right.
So
Steve
it's always barley seeds, because the seeds that most of these studies for bubbles are also barley seeds.
Exactly.
So the poor seeds, before you've given them nanobubbles, have been electrocuted. Take us through it. Cool.
Yeah. So it is a very interesting topic, I think, because the hydroponics is a step further away in using less land and less waste. So that's the first step in sustainable food production. But the hydroponics are made of rocks most of the time. What is it? They are made from burning rocks and then pulling small fibers out of that, rock fibers, rock wood, that kind of stuff. And that is not good. So they thought, how can we get away from that? And then they found that placing cellulose, which is the most abundant polymer in the world, by the way, as we speak. So you can use cellulose with some other chemicals, which I probably say in a couple of minutes, and put a current in there, and then a very small current, because they have done high currents and high voltage gradients in there, but it is small. And what they found out is that the stimulated plants get more nitrate efficiently reduced. So, nitrogen, as we all know, is a very important nutrient for plants, because it gives it is the base for the amino acids, which is the base for proteins and enzymes, and therefore they can make sugar and do photosynthesis and all that kind of stuff. But it is starting with how do we get these nutrients in the plant quicker. And also to your story, Steve, it really helps in growing faster, reducing the time, and using more friendly materials. And it is an amazing material. It's an e-soil, they call it. It is made of cellulose, but it is also doped with, and it's not swearing, it's chemistry. It's ethylene dioxide, thiophane polystyrene sulfonate. That's a bit long to say it.
Well done for saying that.
I got it in one time. It's P.PSS, and it is carboxylated cellulose nanofibrils. So it's a complicated structure, and there we need XRD to see how crystalline amorphous it is. So the world is getting around our products, but it really was triggering for me how much of these current and voltage gradients is doing. It's a real interesting research paper. I think that we can go much more sustainable in producing our food with nanobubbles combined with a voltage gradient, and then it would be fantastic. How does that relate to you, Paul or Steve?
Yeah, that's quite good. And I presume we would also look at XOF for the liquids we will actually be producing as well, because you obviously can have certain concentrations of salts and minerals that you feed into the plants anyway.
Correct. Yes, that's also a good one.
So we're creating these spun cellulose fibres, which, as you say, can come from wood or other natural sources. And what's the link to XRD measurement then?
Yep, that is a good question. The link there is, if you want to create these e-soils, it is compressed in in the kind of hydroponic structure, but not balls or spheres. It is columns, and in that compression, you need to see how well the crystalline amorphous structure is retained, and also what kind of crystalline structures you have, which can be the start of a nucleation core for the seeds to grow on, so to speak.
Wow! And tell me, what's the scale of this? Does it work on your kitchen windowsill with some batteries plugged in on each end, or is it entire greenhouses?
It's greenhouses, but they can be stacked.
Okay.
So it's apartments. So you don't the Netherlands is limited in area. We better use the height to it. It is massive already. I've seen pictures here.
Vertical farming, they call it.
Vertical farming. Yeah.
Okay, and I guess the energy required to do this is sourced renewably as well through solar and other sources as well.
It's very limited amount of current and voltage you need. So that's also a pre.
Wow.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we can have nanoparticles that are linked to charge there. We can charge the soil. So I was digging around and I was thinking, what do I bring to this discussion? And maybe it's why what we've been talking about today is important in that, and this was a surprise to me. Did you know that a quarter of the particulate pollution in UK cities comes from a agricultural source, from farming?
It's a long way to travel then. It's gone to the city.
Yeah, exactly. So there are very, very fine particulates being created in the environment caused by both livestock farming and by the application of fertilizers for arable farming as well. And this is all to do with the release of ammonia into the atmosphere. So if you have manure from animals, contains a lot of ammonia, and that's released into the atmosphere. Or if you're applying fertilizers into the ground, the ammonia can be volatilized and then enters the atmosphere. And when that happens, you get a reaction that creates various ammonia salts with very, very small particle size. And of course, those can travel vast distances. And so as clean air policies have been applied in cities, there have been an improvement in creation of pollution within the city itself. Now this next source becomes important. And of course, it's not only a pollutant; it can cause health issues, but it has some link into global warming as well. And so you may say, well, so what? Where's the link to Malvern Panalytical? Well, we do get involved in some of the measurement of that, but through our sister company of particle measuring systems more, it's not so much of an application for us, although we have used XRF to look at the content of aerosols to help with understanding where they've come from in the environment. So there's one there. But it's in looking at the optimization of fertilization of the soil, in that if you use fertilizers that are a larger particle size, and then you till them properly and combine them into the soil, you're less likely to release ammonia into the atmosphere, and you're less likely to get this reaction.
So it ties in with things like those diffraction systems we sold into Poland many years ago, which was understanding the Polish soil.
Yeah, exactly. So the soil structure and maintaining that become important. Having systems in place to understand how much fertilizer needs to be applied to the soil, that is important. So you don't over apply, because that could lead to increased ammonia amounts as well. And so we get deeply involved in this, and it can reduce pollution. And of course, if you can control the application, you become more efficient. There are actually opportunities in that also to improve yields. And if you combine that with what you guys were talking about, where we're able to provide the food that we need from less ground in the first place, then there's an overall benefit in terms of health in cities. So there you go. Anyone who's an urban liver and wants to know why the countryside is important, it is, and making sure we do things right there can have an impact directly on health.
Well, that's the other thing with these vertical farms. Often they're in the city. So often it will be in a deserted building with a lot of these things that with stacked on top of each other. So there's a company in London in an abandoned underground station growing salad for London restaurants through hydroponics.
There you go.
There you go. Wow. And did you guys know that the English government dug every 100 meter a hole, or every 200 meter, I forgot it, and then mapped the whole soil of England in layers, and we analyzed with XRF, X-ray fluorescence, we analyzed the composition there. So you can use this, Paul, to figure out where it is not a good idea to start farming.
Exactly. So that why farm in areas where you're going to get a poor yield anyway, and there are other things you can then do. So, for instance, creating buffer zones around fields, or fields that are turned back to nature, can help with controlling the creation of these aerosols, and then is another way of controlling the pollution that could be produced as well. So you're right, being smarter in the application of farming techniques can definitely help. But of course, we've got to consider people have got to make a livelihood, and we definitely need food. So balancing that with efficiency and access is important.
And I guess that's also where the NIR, where the Smart Return projects will come in anyway, as in interrogate the plant. Hey, Mr. Plant, are you feeling hungry? Would you like some more fertilizer now? By basically scanning it, and we will be able to know exactly what to feed it. And not overfeed it, because overfeeding is not good.
I think that's a great addition there, Steve, because if you can see from the air, even with drones with an NIR over the soil, you can see where the lack is of nitrogen, or fertilization, I think is the word. Yeah, and then you can say what Paul is saying. Maybe it's not good in this area to put the manure of the cows. Maybe we do it in another area because it causes less ammonia to release.
Exactly. Everything is connected.
Okay. Well, what an amazing journey. We've gone everything from the size of a cow down to the size of a nanobubble, and at every point in between. Yet again, Malvern Panalytical involved. My goodness, where can we escape this place? And would we ever want to, we ask ourselves. So thank you very much, guys. It's great to be back from hibernation. Great talking to you again. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul and Taco.
Thank you very much, Taco.
Thank you much, both guys, Paul and Steve.
thank you to all of you who listen to these things. We hope this has been interesting. As always, we're interested in your ideas. What else could we have talked about here relating to spring and material characterization and applications? Let us know, and we'd be happy to cover those stories. Or if you'd like to join us as a guest on this podcast, let us know. We'd love to have other people involved. But otherwise, it's goodbye from us from all now, and look forward to next time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, all.